Where are measurement and evaluation going? What great strides do I see in my crystal ball? Well, I don't have a crystal ball. The best I got is a silver espresso cup. But in terms of where measurement's going, it's pretty clear, or should be pretty clear to anybody who reads the news, that artificial intelligence and machine learning are eating everything because they function totally different than traditional classical software. In classical software, we would write the code, and we would get out of the code when the machine runs it some data. In machine learning, in artificial intelligence, that paradigm is flipped around. The machine gets the data and writes its own code to produce the outcome, which means that if you have fluency in artificial intelligence and machine learning, you can feed your machines the ever-increasing amounts of data, which makes you more effective, more productive, more powerful, more capable than someone who's stuck in classical mode where they're trying to write software to keep up with the deluge of data, and there's no human way to do that. There's no way for a human being to really keep up with the deluge of data. What I see happening in the next couple of years is artificial intelligence tools becoming much, much smarter and much, much more accessible. As I mentioned earlier, when I was at IBM Think, the technology show, seeing a drag and drop deep learning system, the kind of system that a week, a month, a year ago would have been unthinkable to put that much complexity together in just a drag and drop interface, was mind blowing. Just to see how easy it was. No longer was coding the technical obstacle to making a deep learning system. Now it was your ability to think about the system and the architecture of the system, and then just put the colored blocks in the way you wanted them. That's a game changer. That's available today. There is still technical hurdles in the sense that you have to know what the system architecture is and what to do with the pieces. The closest analogy would be you no longer have to go to the metal forge in your backyard and forge your own frying pan. Now you get the frying pan automatically, but you still need to know how to cook. You still need to know what the frying pan is for. But those software tools will continue to get easier, will continue to get better, will be faster, will be cheaper. The price of technology is coming down so rapidly, so rapidly. I have seen the cost of processing a terabyte of data drop from like hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars a decade ago to pennies per day now. I get a bill every month from IBM, and from Google, and from Amazon, and in almost every case, I could pay the bill with a $20 note and get some change back to all of the vendors combined. That's how inexpensive it's getting. The last thing I'd say on the topic of crystal balls is that they are useless now. In 2015, I read an academic paper saying that the Asian game of Go would take machine learning and AI decades to learn and master and eventually beat a human being at. But machines would do it. The paper said it will take decades. 18 months later, DeepMind did that. So our ability to predict the future is almost useless when it comes to the strides that machines are making. And then once we introduce quantum computing to AI, we will have a completely different environment. In the same way that someone growing up in the 1950s could not have even foreseen the world that was in the 1970s, or someone who was born in 1975 could not have seen that 10 years later there would be computers in every single home, and in a lot of homes, in a lot of schools, the Apple computers with the ugly beige and green screens, but no one could have seen in just 10 years just what the world would have looked like. We are at another one of those points now. We are at a genre-defining, a industry-defining, a societally defining time in computing, and the next leap forward will happen slowly and then all at once, and we don't know what it'll look like. But in 10 years' time, if you're watching this video on archival footage in your augmented reality headset, you'll go, wow, even your prediction about that was wrong. You were so wrong about what was going to happen. So that's what's ahead for us.